Hi, welcome to AFTV. I've got Julian with me. A 4-1 win against Portsmouth at Fratton Park.
It was 1-4.
4-1 win, 4 to Arsenal. I know we're away, so okay, you can say it that way, but no one says it like that. 4-1 to Arsenal. A good win, a win that, you know, like I said to the guy just then, on the score sheet it says 3 set pieces and 1 own goal. Does that really tell the story of today's game?
Well, yes, because that was the score. And we scored 3 of our goals through set pieces, and 1 was an own goal.
So what is that? So was that saying that that means, you know, Portsmouth might have been actually in it, considering they scored first, but maybe a couple scrappy set pieces and an own goal. Is that how Arsenal played? Was it a scrape through performance?
Yeah, but that was how we scored our goals. But we were playing at Fratton Park, and it was very much a walk in the park. that was my dad's joke, not mine. Very much a dad joke.
Actually, was quite good.
Yeah.
I knew it wasn't yours because it was quite good.
No, if you liked it was my joke, yes.
Pick up your dad, that was good.
Yeah, but the first 10 minutes
was not.
Was not. And I actually had a discussion with my father, and we had a disagreement that he thought it was a disgraceful first 10-15 minutes, and that Arsenal should have gone out there and absolutely battered and humiliated them at the beginning of the game, whereas my argument was that it's almost like a boxing fight. You know, we are better than them. Keep them at a distance, let them huff and puff themselves out, and then the quality will eventually show through. But we did take one on the chin, the fact that they scored a goal.
So did you give Portsmouth credit for that? Because I think some Portsmouth fans, we watch this wanting some sort of credit, and I actually will give them credit. They came, that first 10 minutes, they went long ball, they caused Norgard a few problems when it comes to physicality. They shocked us, in my opinion.
Okay, I will give Portsmouth credit on 2 counts.
Go on.
Okay, first of all, the way that they played. What I liked about them is, even though they were the weaker team, in every aspect, whether it be financially, league position, quality on the pitch, squad depth, injuries, they didn't care. They did not care. They didn't let that put them down. Quite often teams come to Arsenal, come to better teams, doesn't matter who it is, could be Anfield in their day, Man United, and they have lost the game before they even kick a ball. And what Portsmouth did, they didn't care about the facts. They came out and they went for it. Yeah. And what that didn't
part of the bus, didn't sit behind the ball, didn't do any of that.
Yeah, what that did, that made an entertaining game of football for all the fans. And the second thing I'd like to compliment is the Portsmouth fans, because I thought that they supported their team in exactly the way you need to support your team.
I saw some kids actually doing a lot of swearing. I was thinking, I don't know if I really 100% agree with that, but apart from that.
Well, I didn't hear them swear.
No, I didn't hear them, but I could see them.
I mean, at the Arsenal end, I heard some bad language because I'm stood next to it. Okay. But from the Portsmouth fans, I didn't hear anything other than vociferous support, which I thought was great. Yeah. And also, I mean, the stadium, yes, it's a slightly older stadium, but you know, it brought me back to my youth, and I enjoyed the experience. I really did. The architecture of the stadium meant that it was more difficult for us, and it was more of a leveller because of the weather and the swirling wind. Because it's not enclosed and it's 4 separate stands, the wind can get in. And the other thing is, obviously, from the geography of where we are on the coast, I thought that was one of the reasons why it was a bit of a, you know, in one way it's a better game, but it was a leveller.
Thank you for your lessons in architecture and geography.
Yes.
Thank you very much, very much. Performance-wise, anyone that stood out to you?
The obvious one for me was Marino. I thought he was excellent. I didn't think anyone particularly played badly.
Your favourite player, Gabby, got a hat-trick.
Well, I was actually going to come on to him.
Well, there you go.
You know, just like Fancam sort of saving the best till last with Martinelli.
Well, we ain't got long, so here we go.
Okay, I would actually say that he's being played out of position. For me, I fell in love with him when he played against Chelsea some years ago in the centre-forward position. He's got speed. On the wings, I feel that it's a bit too condensed and that he doesn't have the space. Put him in at centre-forward, there's more space for him to run into, and we can exploit his speed. He can obviously finish, because we've seen it before. The more practice he gets in that position, the better.
If you want to get technically he has more space on the wing, because there's not a keeper the keeper can close down the ball, but he's more likely to close from central position when he's playing up front. So technically he should have that space in behind on the wing. We just don't seem to play that ball on the wing.
We don't. However, I've thought about this. I actually preempted thinking that you would ask that question or make that point, which is a very valid point. The fullbacks we often play against in the modern game are much faster, where the centre-halves aren't. So I think we can exploit his speed against slower centre-halves in the middle of the pitch.
Okay, so my counter is sometimes most fullbacks these days invert and they're normally out of position, so that space is to be even greater. If you play quicker, it's just Arsenal don't play down those wings channels at the speed that they should. But normally, the fullbacks would invert, so there should be loads more space. Even if they might be quicker, they should be out of position, which Martinelli should be able to exploit. We just sometimes take too long.
Well, then that would open up more space for our fullbacks who have speed to then exploit the space that's been vacated.
Sometimes does happen.
And again, today I didn't see the Portsmouth fullbacks invert as much.
Yeah, well, that's not for Premier League side. They'll do that. Champions League side, Championship don't really tend to. So you want Martinelli up front. Probably not going to happen in front of Jesus, Havertz, and Gyökeres, but
no. But then what we've got now is 3 centre forwards. And I think that gives us all different options. But it was really interesting just coming on to Havertz, and he didn't come on for long, but straight away we saw the benefits of Havertz against what we've been seeing with Gyökeres. Gyökeres, it's a battle. Everything you see of him, and I'm not saying he's a bad player, but it's a constant battle, him against the centre-half. It's all physicality. Whereas the great players, they've got a bit of physicality, however, they're clever enough to create space, and that's exactly what I saw Havertz do in the short space of time that he came on.